Well, good morning, and what a glorious morning it is. Here's Jules picking some olives because that's today's job. There's a nice pot of olives there she's been doing on this one tree, this little section. This is our fig tree, which all the figs are gone. So we're in end of October, Halloween today, or Hallows Eve or whatever. There's the broken gazebo which we put up 2 years ago and got destroyed in this autumn's thunderstorms. So Valerio's guys are doing the big olive grove down the bottom of the hill. So we thought we'd try and help by doing some of this upper olive grove. So we've done, I'll just quickly walk you through it. Here's the swimming pool. Still need to get the crack fixed, but obviously now it's winter or autumn, it's not leaking anymore. But I'm waiting for someone to go give us a quote. Here's the broken gazebo. So we did these two trees, and these don't have many olives on. They're mainly here to look nice, so we got 3 kilograms off those. Then we moved on to this one, which we've not finished. Look, I can see a bunch here. Not many. I didn't come at this bit from the outside. I was under it. So this one we got 6 kilograms off. Again, this isn't designed. Again, it's got some there. It's got some higher up. Should probably pick those ones. I can reach those. Look at this one. Where's that one not been picked? I've been weighing them there, but obviously they've already started falling on the ground as well and into the swimming pool. This one we can't reach at all because, as you can see, it's like 20 feet in the air. So you're supposed to use the electric whizzers, but obviously if you do that, they're all just going to fall in the swimming pool anyway. So I don't quite know what to do with that one. And we haven't started on any of those yet. We haven't started on the ones above. But I'm doing this one and Jules is doing that one, as you saw. And so far, I've got 3 kilograms off this one, and it's been this bit of it. So I assume around the whole tree, you might be looking at 15, 20 kilograms. But this isn't, the first thing I'll say is, as we put this first olive in, this is not how you're supposed to collect olives. This, if you've been watching any TV and you see people picking olives by hand, like we're about to do, that's just wrong, right? It's super slow, super inefficient. So you will ask, why are you doing it, Mike? And the reason is, I can't be bothered. Well, first of all, we have an electric whizzy thing, but I've never turned it on. I have a car battery. I don't know how much power it's got. And doing that job it's very tiring, exhausting. It's going to do your back in. You've got to get the nets out. You've got to put the nets underneath. There's a lot of organisational kind of things to do. And the other guys are doing that at the bottom. You know, they're doing it properly. I am not doing it properly. I'm doing it in a kind of casual, stupid immigrant stroke expat, if you want to call us, kind of way. So this is not the way to do it. However, it's fun. Like most things I do outside, I don't do, you know, I'm not the best at it, but it gets the job done, and it's kind of enjoyable, and it's a bit of exercise, and it's better than, you know, going for a run on a treadmill. Because if you do this for a few hours, it's quite tiring, you know, it's a lot of energy you use up, and obviously at the end of it, you get a load of olive oil. So I had a look online to see how many olives the average tree gets, and one page said 10 kilograms, another page said 50 kilograms. I have no idea how you get 50 kilograms of olives off an olive tree. I would assume that gigantic one, if it was fully in bloom, which it's not, as in fully covered in olives, you might be able to get 50 off. Like this one has that half has loads of olives, but that side's not really got very many. This one's got quite a lot, but it's very small. But I think some of these small ones you know, you're looking at more 5 to 10 kilograms. And I'd say that's probably decent. You know, if you've got 100 trees, we can't get to all 100 yet. We've got about 80 we can get to. And another 20 or 30, maybe we've got 90 we can get to. And another 20 or 30 we can't get to yet, or we can get to, but I've never pruned them. And the ground's overgrown, so you can't put any matting down. They've never been, you know, they're the completely wrong shape for an olive tree, so all the olives will be in places you can't reach anyway, so you can't really harvest them. They've actually got quite a lot of olives on them. Sorry if the camera is getting hit by branches, but my head's getting hit by branches, so I can't really avoid it. But yeah, it's I don't quite know how you can get 50 off it. So if I get 15 off this one, obviously I'm doing it by hand, so it takes hours. Whereas you should probably be doing this tree in like 20 minutes with the flappy electric device. And it's going to take me an hour at least. And we won't be able to get the stuff really high up. But then again, there's not, as you can see, right, they kind of stop about here. They actually kind of stop. Oh, everything above it is the new growth. And you can tell it's the new growth, if I stand back a second, because it's all vertical. Because all the olive tree is trying to do is get to the sun. And it tries to expend all of its effort getting as high up as it can. So olive trees are supposed to be vertical. But what olive producers do, and what I've kind of partly been trained to do, is to cut off all the vertical branches and leave all the horizontal ones. Because the horizontal ones aren't going up. They're the ones bearing the fruit. So what you want the tree to do is concentrate all of its effort on growing fruit and not chasing the sun. So obviously you can't prune every week. So what you do is you prune in the spring, cut off all the tall ones, and sometimes cut off some of the side ones if there's too many and they're overlapping, and you cut off all the inside as well. So at the moment, if I go in again, you can see there's a lot of these branches on the inside. Even these have got olives. Look, this tree's mental. Like this is clearly new branch, you see. And that's because last year, or this spring, I cut out the whole centre. So the whole of this centre was sun. And you had all this nice canopy around the outside. But over the summer, and spring and summer, it's just gone vertical in the middle. So come spring next year, I'll be back in here, chopping all these off, because you just don't want them. All they're going to do is they can't grow, well, apart from this one, had 4 olives on it, 5 olives. They can't really grow olives because they don't get much sun, and all they do is they block all the sun from the rest of the tree. So all they do is they just want to go up. And that means the olive tree spends all of its effort sending branches up. You can see it here at the top of this one. It's all gone up, and then all the olives are on the bottom bits hanging down. This one's got a couple there going up. They've got olives on because they're coming out, but they're still too tall. So what I need to do is chop them off, because otherwise you just can't harvest the olives because they're too high up. The other thing I've noticed, oh dear, that wasn't very good, was it? The other thing I've noticed this year is the olives on the part of the tree that have more sun are blacker than the olives which don't get any sun. So this one doesn't get sun. Look at that, the same tree, and you get black and green olives. So I always assumed, before I came to Italy, that black and green olives were different trees. But round here, in the sun, all of the olives are black. And round here, where it's darker, they're the same size, but you can see all of them are green. So I guess these ones just aren't quite as ripe, but obviously you can't really do 2 harvests of, we do the riper ones and then the less ripe ones, because you don't want to be out here 2 times. Where did you go, Jules? What are you doing down there? Oh, you're going to the bottom of that big tree. And what I'm trying to also do is leave Jules some lower bits, because she doesn't find it as easy to look up. She has slight neck issues. So I can do the slightly higher ones, whereas she can do all the low ones. Obviously I can do the low ones as well, but also just try, I mean, I've been on this tree for probably half an hour maybe so far. And it's getting more difficult in this section. I've not started on the other sections yet. Like, I've not started here. Look at that. Now that's That's a perfect branch there. You just drag it and it all falls off. Look at all those. So that's what this looked like over here. So obviously this is only since I've started talking on this video. There's some, look at these. This is so you kind of, what I kind of do, put my hand over them, pull, let go, and there's a bunch of olives. Now again, I'm losing some, but there's too many trees and too many olives for us to go around and harvest perfectly, because we're not an olive farm. We're not looking to make, you know, 15 euros a litre of anything at the moment. It's just kind of a hobby to give our friends. Maybe, you know, we might start selling some at some point. Still don't think we're ready though. I mean, I've got a full-time job, so I'm not exactly a professional olive harvester. But a day like today, I mean, it is just beautiful. Look at it. Look at this. So earlier we had some hunters out. I think they've moved around the other hillside. And he was just on the opposite hill to us initially, just playing what sounded like a vuvuzela. Those things from the South African World Cup. So it's just like just continually. It's a bit of a shame I didn't have my GoPro out, but it was recharging because I forgot to charge it because I'm an idiot. So yeah, it's a little annoying when you come out on a day like this and you've got, as usual, it's the same idiots, you know. So every video I'm complaining about hunters in the winter, or in the autumn and the winter. I don't really complain about anybody else. On one of my videos that I've not actually processed yet, I meet a couple of mushroom hunters, different type of hunter. They were polite, and then when they left they gave me some porcini, and it's like, wow, that's a nice interaction with some people. Yes, come on my land, harvest the mushrooms, because I tell you what, I'm not harvesting mushrooms, because if I do I'll kill myself. And then you give me something at the end of it, and I'm like, oh, thanks very much. You know, come back, I don't mind. But when you just, here comes a... There's been a lot of helicopters coming over recently. Let's see if we can see this one. Sounds like it's coming from this direction. There it is. It's proper, looks like a lynx or something. Definitely military. There's been a lot of those recently this week, so I don't know if something's happening, like there's any training or whether the fun that's happening in either the Middle East or maybe a certain person who might be winning in America is causing countries to be testing their military. I don't know. Hopefully it's all just a coincidence. Oh, you know, but part of the reason why we move somewhere like this is you can kind of try and ignore it, you know. Jules was saying I should hook an olive picking robot up and then stream live and let people pick our olives for us. But what they'd probably do is just destroy the tree, because that's what the internet's like, isn't it? And obviously olive picking robots don't exist, Jules, but don't tell her that. So you can be a little bit aggressive with these trees. As I say, what you usually use is this big electronic machine with flailing metal arms, or plastic arms, and it's quite rough and it knocks lots of the leaves off. Whoops. Quite a lot of the branches get snapped, and that's normally just what you do, right? So what I'm doing here is actually, it's much better for the tree, if much slower and completely amateurish. But I don't really care. I'm not here to win any olive picking prizes. So, update on the water room. It's almost done, which is a bit of a miracle. The builders have pretty much finished. The plumber has pretty much finished. We're just waiting for a second opinion on the water, because the first one said it was full of salt, and then our geometer said, that's unusual, are you sure it's full of salt? Because to fix a salt problem is quite expensive. We're talking like 4,000 euros. So you should really test it again just to make sure. So we're testing it again, because testing it is like 15 quid, so just make sure nothing got into the first one, to make sure we haven't got salt in it. What we do have is sulphur. It stinks, which isn't good, so I need to fix that. Apparently we need a carbon filter, but that's not. 4,000 euros. Right, I'm going to come around here now, because I'm a bit bored of sticking my head in that bit, and this is an easy bit. So let's move on to some black olives. So this is when you start. It's super easy. You just kind of pull your hands down. There you go. Who thought 4 years ago I'd be doing this on a day in October or on Halloween? Out in the, I mean, it's like 23 degrees today, the forecast says. Use the BBC still, because it's usually reasonably correct. And we're quite lucky here, because we live near Umbria Day, and if you go in Umbria Day this week, every morning, until about now actually, has been heavy fog. Whereas here, it's just been beautiful blue sky. We get fog at about 8 AM, and then by 9 AM it's gone, whereas in Umbria Day, it's there till 11. And we went in yesterday to pick up some post and stuff, and it was freezing. You know, we were wearing sunglasses and everything, and by the time we'd driven 25 minutes to Umbria Day, it was absolutely freezing. So I'm hoping with Jules's as well, we've probably done, she's falling up the hill at the moment, probably up about 15 kilograms so far. So if you're talking 200 millilitres a kilogram, that's, I don't know, 3 litres of oil so far. Doesn't sound a huge amount, does it? But I mean, it's quite nice having your own oil. And obviously these trees are now, the ones we're on now are giving us loads more olives than the first two. As I say, the first two gave us 3 kilos between them, and this one has already given me 3 kilos on a tiny part of it. One of these bags is about, well, the first bag I did has about 15 kilos in it, so if I fill this one up, we might get to 30. It's just lovely, you know. Sit out here and pull off random bits of leaf. So other things that need doing out here, the pool. So the pool still has its cracking, not kraken, but cracking, which does nothing, you know, it doesn't affect the pool in any way until August. The last 2 years it's done the same thing. It's absolutely fine. August comes along and it just starts dripping out the side of the pool, and then it gets to September when it cools down a bit and it stops dripping out the side of the pool, and everyone comes in and goes, well, there isn't a problem, and you're like, well, there is a problem because it drips. Yeah, it's a big crack in the side of it and it leaks in August. So we then asked people to come and give us a quote for repairing the wall and lining the pool in, it's like silicone, which is obviously waterproof, and it has like a X year guarantee. And last year we couldn't get anyone to come and give us a quote. I don't even mean do the work, but give us a quote. And this year we actually finally got a quote last month, which was like 9,000 euros, which obviously isn't brilliant, but we were told when we moved in, because the pool was in a bit of a state, it would cost about 15,000 euros, and I think we've spent about 2 or 3 on it so far, plus a robot, which didn't work very well. A bit disappointed with the pool robot. But 9,000 isn't obscene for us, because the pool is very nice, and it's been cheaper than it should have been so far. But so we got a quote, we're like, okay then, when can you start? And then he's not really got back to us, so we're getting another quote in now, and then that person is like, oh, I can't get to you yet. And it's like, well, like, I thought Italy had a problem that there wasn't enough money, and the whole of Europe is like, you know, oh, we're in a recession, and you know, Italy needs more investment in X, Y and Z and blah blah blah. And then when you're in Italy and you're like, I just want to spend some money doing this thing, like, oh, we haven't got any experts, we haven't got any people available. It's like, well, why not? I thought you just said you couldn't get any money, and then you've got money, and no one wants you to spend it with them. Okay, that was a good lot, wasn't it? Nice sound when you pull them in as well. But yeah, so the pool, that needs sorting. That's point number one, this one. Come on, there we go. The next thing that needs doing is the wood. So when we moved in, that was all grey and completely knackered. You all right?
Yeah, I finished that one. There's quite a few more, but they're just too high on the far side.
You finished the tree completely? Yeah, it's this wood. So when we moved in again, the wood was just grey. You know, you're talking 2.5, almost coming up 3-year anniversary now, living here in March. So we paid for the guys to paint it, and they painted it, and that was cool. And a year later, all the paint's peeling off again, all the kind of creosote-y stuff. So then last year we did it, and we didn't do a great job. As you can see, 8 kilos?
8 kilos.
Wow. It's almost 2 litres of oil. That's about 30 quid. Well, 20 quid in Italy, but maybe 40 quid in the UK. Yeah, so we painted it last year, not very well, but for the this year for the party, and it was okay. But if you look at it now, it's all knackered again, and it's like I don't want to have to paint the decking every year because it's old, and like some bits like that, like the screws are coming up because all the wood's underneath rotten. So where you screw in each of the planks, it doesn't actually catch anymore because the screw holes are full of been rained on for however many years it's been there. So we want to get that replaced with something like a patio, or I think Jules is saying like kind of fake wood, which is like waterproof and then doesn't need to be sprayed repeatedly. But I'd want to get something with an X year, guarantee. But that's going to be a few more thousand, But then, because the other problem with it is it has slats between it, and then things like the olives and stuff, when they fall off the tree or they all get stuck between them, and then you get plants growing up between them, and it's like, I just want, like, we've got 2 patios or 3 patios, and one of the patios has, what's the word? Stuff. If you want to do that bit around there, it's probably on. It might not be. Keep going. That bit.
Oh, nice.
One of the patios has not cement, mortar between all the tiles, and that one is great. So every year you give it a wash and it's done. The other one doesn't have mortar between the tiles, so every year you give it a wash and there's loads of plants sticking out of it, and then you then have to get down your hands and knees and pull them out, or spray it with anti-plant, whatever it's called, weed killer. And I don't want to have to go out every year and spray. I don't mind spraying it, pressure washing it. It's kind of therapy. We need a better pressure washer, to be honest. It's a bit old arse now. Again, we got it for free. Everything we have is a bit shit. Excuse my French. So yeah, whatever we do up here by the pool, I also want that to require the least amount of looking after, so we don't have to come every year and then at the moment, as I say, repaint it. I don't want to have to redo any. I want it to be there and then be there and done, and next year we come out and it looks nice and it's lovely. It's like the gazebo. The gazebo's broken because we bought a cheap gazebo, 200 euros I think. Doesn't sound that cheap, but for a gazebo in Italy it is. And 2 years later it's fallen down, so probably want to get like some kind of iron one, and then if you're talking about an iron one, you're talking about 2,000 or 3,000 euros or something, or 500 euros. Ugh, something there. Very sticky. Oh, that was. Look, wet finger. Weird. Yeah, you're talking about, but then that gazebo, it's made of cast iron or something. It's not going to get blown away. You can replace, the slats or the whatever goes across the top, the wicker, or if you want material. But apart from that, you don't have to do any work to it. Maybe you paint it every 4 or 5 years or something. Oops. But yeah, it's just, how do we leave ourselves with the things we have to do. So like every year I have to prune the trees. There's no way out of it. Again, I quite like pruning the trees. But we can't not prune them. Whoops. Because if you don't prune them, the trees end up all wrong, you don't get any olives, and then it also doesn't look as nice. So, and I don't mind doing it, I quite enjoy pruning. I enjoy pruning much more than picking. Well, picking if I was doing it with the electric thing. This kind of picking's quite cool. Especially on a day like this. If it was raining, it'd be a bit of a different opinion, I think. I don't think people do it in the rain, actually. That's why there's been a problem this year, because it's rained so much. I think a lot of the olives haven't been picked. But yeah, I'd like to get everything kind of done so that, you know, late spring comes along and we can go out to the pool and everything's ready, and it's not like, we've got to worry about the crack. We have to worry what we're doing with the wood this year. We need to get a new gazebo. Like our garden furniture's a bit better now. We picked up some good things this year for the party, but they've ended up, I think the chairs we've got are incredibly comfortable, so hopefully they'll still be alright in a few years and we haven't needed to replace them. But you never know. I've done this lot. So what I might try and do tomorrow, because I think what happens is today, I haven't heard them recently, but they're supposed to be picking down in the olive grove with the machines. I thought I could hear the machines, but I can't. They're doing that today and tomorrow, and I was going to add these olives to the stuff that they pick so we get as much as possible. And then tomorrow, they might also be doing it today, they take the olives to the olive mill and you get your oil. And what I might do is when they're doing it tomorrow is go up there with Jules, because Jules hasn't seen it before. I actually went there with Channel 4 and then they didn't use it on the TV, which is a little bit annoying because I went round and explained all of the process with Valerio. He's moving this, my head's aching. And then because I think there was another couple whose whole story was about olive oil, they used them to talk about olive oil rather than us. Yeah, I think ours was a little bit more kind of down to earth and less kind of, look at us, we have olive oil. It's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Look, this is the olive oil mill and this is how it works. It's interesting, isn't it? Just like, you know, rather than, it's not a story. So I don't think Channel 4 like it if it's not a story, which is why ours was all about a computer game and rather about us. Well, I mean, ours can't really have been much about us doing stuff in Italy because everything is so delayed. We haven't done that much, you know. How's it going over there, Jules?
Alright, I've got some kind of strange miniature stink bug that's just sort of sitting in my bag of olives.
Well, you do love your stink bugs.
I know, I'm trying not to set it off.
The way you screamed at one the other day like it was a spider.
I don't like things crawling on me.
No.
I don't think anybody would want a stink bug to be crawling on them.
I don't mind them crawling on me. They're not dangerous, so I don't really care.
I think you have no sense of smell.
Well, I've got a sense of smell. I just don't really notice them, whereas you think they're the most disgusting thing that God has created.
Yeah, no, the bugs themselves I don't mind. I really don't like their smell.
No. Sometimes they smell a little bit of petrol to me.
They don't smell anything like petrol.
It's probably, what's that other thing like, coriander, isn't it? Apparently ancient humans thought coriander was disgusting, and then there was a genetic branch, not for any particular reason, not because it was important, but a genetic branch then found that coriander wasn't disgusting, and you can tell from which branch you come from based on your love or hatred of coriander. So maybe if you don't mind it, then you're in the branch that doesn't hate it. But maybe stink bugs are the same. Maybe you're from a branch of human ancestry.
The non-stinky ancestors. Everyone else just walks around smelling crap.
Maybe everyone hated stink bugs, and then there was this group of humans that actually didn't mind them too much, and they managed to take over an area where there were lots of stink bugs and didn't really care, whereas the other humans were like, I'm not going over there where they are. So my ancestors didn't have any competition in a particular area of Europe where there were more stink bugs. So this is this lovely pile of wood here. This is the prunings from these trees that I did in the spring, which I still, considering it's October, haven't brought back to the house and chopped up, because the point was that the gardeners were going to be bringing them up to the house, because there's quite a lot, and I've obviously been quite busy at work and don't always have the time to chop up wood. I did it more in the first year, I think, actually. I was a bit busier in the second year. You all right? Has this one got more or less olives than the last one?
Same so far. Maybe more on the higher branches.
Oh really? Because when it goes up, I don't think there is any when they start going vertical.
But these ones are just like handfuls at a time.
Yeah, they are. That's why it took me. They're just falling off this one. It's really annoying. That's why we need the matting down, but I don't know where the matting is. Also, we're putting things in shopping bags because our olive boxes, which we do have olive boxes, have been stored in our cantinas, and we've got bats. So they're all, like, quite a lot of them have just got bits of bat poo on them. And obviously what you don't want is to be putting bat poo in your olive oil. So what you should do in a professional sense is A, stop bats getting into your cantinas, which I'm actually thinking of doing now because it's starting to get annoying. Secondly, before you decide to pick your olives, clean all your olive boxes. Now, have we done that? No, of course we haven't. Why haven't we done it? Because we're useless. Do we care? Not really. So we're solving the problem by using shopping bags. Oh, there's loads up there. Look. It's just so peaceful and there's not a man shouting.
Or honking as well.
Or honking is Venezuela. It's very difficult to say that. So these ones, as I said earlier, are definitely the purple and black olives. Which, what I would love to do, and again, I say this a lot, don't I? What I would love to do, but can't be bothered to do, but would love to do, is to set aside some of these and brine them and then eat them, because you can't.
Depends what type of olives.
I don't know if it does depend on the type. I think.
These do not look like eating olives.
Well, I think the point is that one just dropped itself into my arm. I think the eating type that we normally have are the giant ones, and obviously these aren't giant, although some of them aren't that small. But I think you can eat any of them. They just have different flavours. Some people really like those black olives. I don't really like black olives. Actually, I don't like English black olives, and what I mean by that is the ones you buy in England. Some of the ones we bought in Italy have been lovely.
I think some Kalamata olives we've had in recently.
Yes.
Those are the best ones, I think.
I think so. It depends on the exact brand, I guess. Brand? Genus. Not brand.
Brand. Oh.
How you doing?
I'm alright. I'm aware that we've done 1, 2, 3. This is our 4th tree.
Four trees in what, 2 hours?
God, has it been 2 hours already?
When did we come out? Like 10? So
yes, 'cause I went back into my pill, didn't I?
this one here is super wrinkled. So at the end of summer they all look like this. Don't know why this one has stayed like it, but we thought there was a big problem because we'd had such a big drought. But obviously compare it to an olive now, it doesn't look like anything like it, so I don't know. Stayed wrinkled, but we won't use that one. Oh crap.
I think if you're going for super expensive olive oil, you probably hand select your olives or something.
Of course they don't.
Waste of time like that.
Of course they don't hand. They just say they do. Also, hand-picked olives are probably... I don't think they're any better than other ones. Because the whole point about the process at the mill is it sorts out all of the branches and the leaves, so you don't get any of that in your olive oil. What we are doing is we're not throwing ones like this in, you know. That's obviously been chewed on by something or whatever.
Make it extra tasty.
It might. Which is the ones that's the case on? There's a fruit, isn't there? That if,
Figs when the wasps go.
yeah, when the wasps go in a frig, they apparently taste nicer. Not that I particularly would want to try that. I do have a bit of a... Some of the Italian delicacies we have not gone for yet. You know, we don't like the French. We don't like raw beef, carpaccio. We've never had a carpaccio. Not had lamb tartare, yes. So it's called carpaccio in Italy. Oh crap, I've dropped another one. Right, you're not going to escape. I'm getting you. We've not had lamprodotta, which is tripe. Although that actually looks quite tasty, the thought of it is absolutely disgusting. I don't know why. I don't know why different parts of an animal to eat are fine and other ones make you feel sick. It's very strange. Who at what point decided that was the case? You know, I guess if you're brought up eating lamprodotta, you don't care because your parents have gone, eat this, it's nice. Whereas if you've not been brought up eating it, you're like, that sounds horrible. But that's something served on a lot of, you know, areas of big cities, and it's very, very popular with the locals. And you see food writers eat it and they always say it's nice. But I would guess your average holiday maker is not going around going, can't wait to have some tripe.
If it was on Instagram, they probably would.
Yeah, maybe. Right. This bit's looking a bit barer now, isn't it? A few in here.
There's loads over here, but I can't really reach.
Oh, I've got a load to do on the stairs. I think out of all the trees so far, this one's definitely got the most. But as I say, I think 2 years ago when I did a bit of olive harvest, and then the guys doing the olive harvest didn't come that day, and then I had to throw 2 boxes of mouldy olives away, which made me very sad. This tree was the best then. Have you pulled a branch off?
No, I pulled the branch and it pinged off on the olive table.
Oh.
Was this blue pipe off?
The blue pipe is off the swimming pool and it's used to suck the swimming pool.
Pool hoover.
Pool vacuum, yeah. It's when you don't send the water to the filter, you just send it out the swimming pool. So if the pool is full of sand, you use that pipe and you turn a particular knob and it just comes out next to the fig tree. Because otherwise, if you send the sand into the filter, it just comes back out the filter because the filter's filtering out certain things, but for some reason the sand, it doesn't filter out always. So it just ends up back in the pool. I think it's because the sand, it's usually the sand from the Sahara, which has come in the rain, so it's very, very fine sand. Right, I think this part of the tree is done. I've got some higher ones to do here. Oh, there's some inside the tree. There's some inside the tree you could do here.
Well, we can swap and you can do these high ones too.
Oh, I've got some high ones to do here. Just starting on them. Hoping the guys will come up from the olive grove and they'll be like, oh, we've done 300 kilograms or something. You know. I can't believe it's that whatever that website was that says 50 kilograms a tree. I can't see how you can have 50. This is not a bad tree, and there is not 50 kilograms on it.
These are very, very small compared to like.
This one's not that small.
Think of the olives that you eat at lunchtime.
Oh, sure. You mean the actual olive size rather than the tree size?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a different brand, as you say. Genus. Keep saying brand. So if anybody watching thinks that looks like fun and wants some free olive oil, then ping us, ping me, and then next year you can come and do it. Or you can use the big electric machine and get even more. There she goes. That's our nearest neighbour in that house up there. They are.
Well, they're not nearer than the ducks, are they?
I think they're near as the crow flies, but they're not nearer to get to them. Although if you went down the road below us, let's move this closer. Then maybe, but you couldn't use a car because obviously, you know, you've only have to build a road to a no road. You haven't got the road you're building it to doesn't have to actually have to exist. Oh. I think they're just under a kilometre away. Actually, it looks a lot less than a kilometre to me. There are a couple of sculptors. I met them once. Well, I met the lady, Laura, I think her name is, when we moved in and we cut. I see some trunks just below the pool. We cut some trees down and we were burning all of the branches. Came down to see if the house was on fire. And I said, no, everything's fine. She was like, all right then. And then I've not seen her since. So I guess it was nice that she came down, but don't think she was very impressed with non-rich English people moving in next door. Yeah, a bit too common. The fire pit where I burnt all the small offcuts of the branches. So the big ones I like to keep because then we can burn them in the winter in our fire in the house. But the small branches you just need to get rid of because if you just leave them you can't actually trim the next year because all the grass grows in between all the branches and then you try and trim it and it's a complete disaster. So you've actually got to keep the grass reasonably clear as well, which you don't really think about when you're, you know, when you first move here. You're like, oh, we'll just prune the trees and leave the branches on the floor, and then 6 months later you start trimming and the trimmer keeps snapping because there's loads of branches in the grass. And then the next year you go, oh, I can't really do that again. So then you have to burn them, and then you probably get people online going, why are you burning all the branches? That's bad for the environment. They probably have a point, but everyone in Italy does it. You know, you always see, especially up near us, there was a massive fire.
Because someone burning a few olive branches in their garden is worse than cracking oil exploration.
It's whataboutism.
Coal mine.
Well, I think the point is we try where possible to live off the land, right? So we get our water from a well. So that's better than us building a pipe to our house and getting water that's treated by other people, you know, which is then very expensive, and we don't put microplastics back into the water supply, you know. We pay for our own sewage to be treated, and it's all very... We're trying to be as good as we can. We wanted to get solar panels, but then you have the whole problem with the super bonus in Italy. And the super bonus is, and this kind of sums up Italian bureaucracy, they wanted more people to spend after COVID. Whoops. They wanted more people to spend money on building. So what they said is, if you earn a certain amount of tax every year, if you pay a certain amount of tax every year, you can claim back up to 50% of anything that you spend on garden work, water work. 110%. There's two different ones, that was it. The other one's an eco bonus. Sorry, the super bonus is you can earn back 110% of the money you spend on these things, right? And you're like, well, that's mental, that's not going to work. And what happened was, people applied for it and got the work done, and then the government turned around and go, nah, I'm not going to do it actually. So what all the other thing was, I just missed with two of those, didn't I? Well, the other thing is the builders could claim the money back as well, was one of the options. The people having the work done could claim the money back, or you could go to the bank and the bank would claim the money back for you and take a percentage of it. Because banks pay a lot of tax, so they have a lot of money they can claim back. So we were told to do it, so we applied for it. Oh, I've missed again. And then, first of all, our builders didn't have enough tax to do it, so they couldn't do it. So we were told to talk to... I can't do it because I pay a certain type of tax, which is you have brought your job to Italy, so you pay less tax for the first 5 years, which is going to run out in a year, which is a bit sad. But I guess then I can start claiming other tax back. And the banks all stopped doing it because they had such a backlog and a huge amount of tax they were trying to get back. They were like, we have to stop doing this because it's not coming back very quickly, and we have to stop people applying. So that just stopped. So we had spent 20-something thousand on something, all the while being told we'd be able to claim up to 110% of it back. And obviously we managed to claim back zero. But that sounds bad, but we assumed we were going to claim back zero when we started because it sounded stupid. So we didn't exactly lose money on it, but we certainly didn't get any back. But the problem is, some people, probably builders, maybe a few bureaucrats, did manage to get some money back. So all the prices of everything shot up to take account of the fact that you can actually get all the work done more cheaply. So for example, solar panels had this 50% off thing. So all of the solar panel installers doubled their prices and said, oh, you can get 50% off. But it just meant, compared to the rest of the Europe, all of the solar panel prices in Italy shot up.
Instead of our solar panels costing 15 to 20,000, they were like 20 to 60,000.
Yeah, if you can't hear Jules, she said instead of ours being 15 to 20,000, they were like 30 to 50,000 or something, right? So we were like, we're not paying 30 to 50,000. Oh, you can get 50% off. And we're like, yeah, but
then that just makes it the price it should be.
That just makes it the price it should be. And we're not guaranteed to get that money off, so we're not going to do it. So all that's meant is that we haven't got solar panels. Which, if we got them, if we were in England with this weather, we would be saving money, you know, in 4 or 5 years. But we can't do it because the prices are still up. So we just have to wait for them to drop back down to the 10, 15,000. So
or we have to buy them from elsewhere in Europe.
Yes.
Kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, you can buy them from Germany and import them, and they're cheaper than buying them in Italy, which then immediately defeats the point of trying to get people to spend money in Italy to help with the tax situation and stuff, right? So, what the fuck? I had a bit of branch on it, so I pinged it to fire it into the bag and it missed. How's your bucket doing? I think I'm up to a good few kilograms here.
Well, I reckon you're going to beat my 8 from the other tree.
What, on this tree, you mean? I think I've probably only got about 5 at the moment.
Especially because I couldn't reach most of the tree.
Oh, getting a bit higher now. What's up? Getting a bit warm, isn't it?
This is lovely.
Oh, getting a bit of arm ache. Interestingly, not on the picking arm, on the other arm.
My neck is hurting.
Your neck hurts when you're not doing anything there.
Wonder if the microphone on that will pick that up.
Probably not yet.
It just sounds like you're going to yourself.
Yeah. I was doing that because there was a almost called him a builder then. That's a hunter. Probably is a builder. In his spare time he hunts. Oh, God. There's a nice chunk. Let's see how much this is first. Right, so this is how much I... Well, I just want to go and weigh this because this is what I started with when I started this video. And that gives my olives per minute. Like the fact that it comes on when I'll step near it. Oh, now you get to see how much I weigh. 4 kilos. Don't know. Felt like 4 kilos. Did you weigh the bucket?
No, I poured it all into the bag and weighed the bag. The M&S bag is that tree.
Oh.
You need to write it down on the list. 8 kilos.
Well, I've messaged you in Facebook.
Why don't you just use your notes then?
Because then both of us have it. Oh.
If you Google.
Maybe you're faster than me.
I think I am.
Also, I've been talking a lot.
Yakking too much.
Yeah.
No surprises there. Don't call you Yaki West for nothing.
I don't think anyone has called me Yaki West, to be honest. Your little saddlebag is the effective solution.
Well, you can thank Barbara for this. She's like, here's a little backpack for you to use while you're outside so you can carry your phone and stuff.
Oh, got one. Maybe if I put all the olives I'd actually picked in the bag, I might have.
Well, a lot of mine are falling because when I yank the ones off that I've grabbed, loose ones from above and
Yes.
the surrounding area just like whack me in the face.
And now these ones are
Sometimes they go into my little bag.
these ones are green again. I don't understand why some are green and some are black. And like some are really black.
Some are a lovely sort of blue colour. They look like miniature plums.
Yes.
Oh God, they just fell off this step.
Oh, please be careful.
Never. It's interesting on this tree because some of them are like multicoloured. So I've just said some look like plums, some look like really nice little sort of greeny red apples.
Yes.
Like that just fell off. I don't even have a chance to try and hold on to it.
Oh, can be quite frustrating. Keep forgetting how many kilograms they got on that show we were watching. I'm sure they said like 20. Or maybe it was 20 litres.
Oh, getting to be a bit hot in the sun.
Yeah, it is a bit warm.
Catching right in my ear. Some branches have just got them lined up really nicely, so you can just sort of...
Some are nice, and then some you just got to pick individually.
The easiest ones to pick on this tree are all the black ones.
Black ones, yeah. I think they're just riper. Oh, here we go.
What?
Dog.
Where?
Can hear the bell. Just heard it coming closer. One year we had a dog come running up here and just jumped in our swimming pool. That's nice, isn't it? Oh, how did it fall in? The dogs can't be that stupid.
It was just running like a lunatic, not looking where it was going.
I just caught one. I was pulling one and another one landed between my fingers. You know when I said careful earlier? I think we would have got maybe another 10% if we put the mats down. I think we're dropping near 1 in 10. What do you reckon?
Maybe.
Maybe a bit less, maybe 1 in 20.
Did you weigh my bucket?
Oh. 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 I'd say 2.5 kilos. You say this bucket was 8 kilos? It's not 8 kilos. So this bucket does not feel like 8 kilos, is my point. Sure. But that's 4 bottles of 2 litre water. 8 kilograms. Oh. Jules is better at this than me. I think that's what we've decided. That's a lot of olives. They're like a little monkey clambering about. Pick, 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 pick.
Well, I think someone needs to get their skates on.
Also, I'm generally leaving you the easy to get ones.
Oh, what bullshit. I did that whole tree by myself and I got 8 kilos and you still hadn't even gathered 4 by the time I'd done that.
This feels like about 6 now. But yes, you are faster than me. I'm happy to admit that. I've never been known for my speed, it must be said.
Unless you're chasing me.
Right. Oh, time to go down a step. Why, there's so many! Ah!
Branches are right in the way now. Right. Don't fall over.
So that probably means we're near 20 kilograms or something? I think they're coming up.
Who's coming up?
Well, it's either the olive pickers coming up or hunters coming down. There's a car anyway.
I don't know if you can hear it. This street's a bit deaf. Oh, thanks, grape, olive. No, mosquito. Don't want you here. Oh, look. Caught that for me. No, falling. Oh. Oh, itchy. Very, very itchy.
I think maybe the difference is you can continually look at the tree, whereas I'm stopping every handful and looking down at my bag. Whereas you're just like, as I say, a kind of little monkey, just
You're not a little monkey.
clambering about.
There is 0 clambering being done.
Putting it in your little pouch. Oh, that's broken bit there. Yay, I just dropped 3 off my chest and they all went in.
You could use your t-shirt, you know.
But I then only have one hand. Like at the moment, I'm pulling the tree with one hand and picking with the other.
This is safe to stand on.
No, not at all, Jules. So can you not do that? I'm still waiting for one of these olives to go in my mouth.
Had several hit my face. Right, definitely reaching a point where I can't keep looking at this anymore.
Oh, me too. Hi. Yeah.
What happened to that massive wooden ladder we had? It used to be on the wall in like
I don't know. We've still got an actual ladder. What? It's your favourite word, actually. Yours. Ah! Ah, you're not getting away. Well, this tree feels a lot emptier than it was when we started.
I should hope so.
Actually, part of the time you were picking, I was in the house.
Oh, for like 2 minutes.
Well, 2 minutes. And then I was explaining things about what we were doing.
Yeah, I know what you were doing.
What?
You were puttering it out.
I wasn't buttering. I mean, it's a TV sport. You would just be thrashing me at the moment. Well, that's thrashing me in a different way. Oops.
They're more appearing.
Don't knock my bag over.
I think I've been bitten on the side of the face. Very annoying. Why am I so tasty? Why do these mosquitoes just not leave me alone?
Genetics. Oh. Oh! Probably part of the reason I'm losing is because I keep missing the bag.
Losing?
What?
Competition?
Ah, subconscious competition, isn't it? You want a different tree now?
Well, yeah, I just saw them and it distracted me.
We're going to get some lunch in a minute.
It's not lunchtime, is it?
It's 12, I think.
Yeah. Piss off. I totally want to ping out and hit me in the face at some point.
No, I don't think so. Oh. Hi. There's so many here. Oh look, I've thrown some in my bucket now. All the bets are off.
That sounded like about 4, so I can give you 4 in return.
There's at least 15.
I think the thing is, I'm so far ahead.
I think you're probably right. You found your expertise.
The thing is, I'm not particularly trying either, I'm just doing it.
Well, I'm not particularly trying, I'm just doing it as well.
Well, that goes without saying.
What?
Oh, that's really fucking annoying.
So that bit of...
That massive nail that's sticking out just ripped off the top of my shoe.
Really?
Lucky I was wearing them, to be honest. Look at
Yeah,
that. Made a
yeah.
massive hole in it.
There's a couple of them down there.
Really dangerous.
Bloody hell. There's just loads in here. I thought you'd done this lower bit. I'd left it for you.
Yeah, I did the bit fucking reach.
No, there's loads of below me. Yeah. All the way round.
You just sort of start going a bit blind.
Yeah, you go a bit olive blind, don't you? Wow. It's like hundreds over here. Jules. Right, I need to get my bag up here.